My name is Zay Wilson, and you're now tuned into Danaya Azure Radio.
Good afternoon, Zay. How are you? Welcome to Danaya Azure Radio.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm glad to be here.
So I met Zay Wilson when I was in Los Angeles for Grammy weekend, and Zay is a country singer. And what else do you do?
I'm on a couple TV shows on Netflix and a TV show on MTV as well.
That is amazing. So how did you originally get into music?
Crazy enough, I've only been doing music for like a year. Literally, the place where you met me is how and where I got into music. I always would sing since I can remember. I just like to sing. I never thought anything about it, and no one ever was like, "Hey, like you have a nice voice, like you can actually sing." And
Right.
I was singing around Sylvia, and she was like, "You can actually sing." I'm like, ha 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 ha, funny, And then she was like, "No, you can really sing. You should. Have you ever tried?" I was like, "No, I just never have." And then I got in the studio with her son Isaiah, and I made my first song. And then a year later, almost to the exact date, a year later, I put out my first single.
I love it. I love it. So what made you want to go towards country music?
Um, I love country music. It just I feel like you can express yourself more, and country music tells a story. It really tells a story, and it's it's just different. It really is different. So I just feel like it just sat with me way better than doing any other music. And yeah, I listen to country every day. That's all I listen to pretty much. So I think, and I grew up in the South, so I don't know. I just love country music, and kind of what it brings. Like I can talk about love, I can talk about sadness. I actually can express all of my feelings through music, and I think that's why I chose country music.
Awesome. So how did you originally get into acting?
Um, well, I did reality TV, and it kind of just fell in my lap. I was in college playing basketball, and I would always get DMs all the time about TV shows and got casted for so many things, but that's not something that I actually wanted to do. I wanted to make it whatever that meant. I wanted to do it. I wanted to be successful coming from where I come from. Um, Me and my two sisters grew up, kind of, feeling for ourselves, and, poor, no food, no electric,
Mm.
stuff like that, and taking care of each other. And so, I mean, obviously that alone, like, has me with so many stories to tell. And, and it was just something that made sense. At the time I was with my girlfriend, and they DM'd me about going on the show, and I told her about it, and she wanted to do it, but honestly I wasn't with it, because in my head the only way I could make it was through basketball. And um, but end up doing this TV show, and I got off the ultimatum and got a call from Perfect Match, and then I end up doing that.
Okay.
So the last 3 years I've done three shows. I've done the show every year, and so I don't know. It was just something where I just want to change my life. I think that was, God's way of taking me out of my situation.
Absolutely. So you said you grew up playing basketball.
Hmm. Yeah.
So how old were you when you started?
I actually started. I was playing. I started actually, like, really playing basketball my freshman year in high school, and didn't really know what to expect. But I've always been tall. I think I was at least 6'2", 6'1", or something like that in my freshman year in high school. So I was tall enough to play. I was already athletic, and
Mhm.
I was already, athletic. I already knew that because I had played football prior. Um, but yeah, I just started playing there and moved around a lot and end up getting a scholarship my senior year.
Of course, it's amazing. And actor, singer Zay Wilson is my guest here on Danaya Azure Radio. So you played football and basketball. So you started off playing football. So what
Yeah,
would you say has would be the similarities when it came to the teaching of each sport?
of the teaching.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. The teaching of it. I mean, I think it's pretty much the same. Um, it just depends on the teacher. I feel like both of those things go kind of hand in hand. Even though all football players can't play basketball and all basketball players can't play football, I think um, you have to be intelligent. You have to be able to move quick on your feet. You have to be physically, you know, you have to be able to physically endure all the things. Even though basketball isn't a contact sport, you got to be able to hold your own as well. But these things teach core values in life if you can grasp it, if you can actually look into it and realize that, like,
Hmm.
realize the game and what it takes to be mentally and physically capable to do these things and to be great. You will learn a lot of things in life, and that's why you see, like, even if you don't make it to the pros, you see a lot of companies. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of companies hire like former athletes and stuff that has degrees because they understand how it is to be a part of a team and they know how to function. And it's because if you go and look at all the people that are working for Microsoft and big companies like that, some of these people are like in school, like, don't talk to anybody, like to work on their own. And um that's not how companies work. That's why they add people that former athletes and people that's been a part of teams and know how to function with the team, because that's how businesses are successful.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you touched on the teamwork aspect because when it comes to anything, you have to work with a team.
Yeah,
Especially when it comes to music and acting. You're not acting by yourself, you're acting with a team in order to make the project go.
exactly.
It's about the chemistry that you have between yourself and your castmates.
Hmm.
It's when it comes to the music, it's about the chemistry that you have between yourself and the producer, yourself and the engineer, so that it can make a beautiful product. Speaking of dope collaborations, I hear you were doing some work with Uncle Rhino as well.
Yeah, definitely. We have we you know we met the same day that
Hmm.
yeah we met that same day. And we sat in the office. It was a party going on. We slipped off into the
Hmm.
office, start playing music, and start juggling ideas. And we came up with something special that will be coming out later this year as well. But Uncle Ronald, he's been in the game, and he's been just mentoring me and making sure I'm my head is straight and that I'm on the right path. And so that has been great as well.
Yeah, shout out to Uncle Rhino. He is so amazing. He was a sponsor here at Tonight Show Radio and just amazing, amazing person.
Yeah.
Um, I'm really, really glad that you're going to be collabing with him. I cannot wait till that record comes out so I can make sure that that record's in rotation as well. We're going to get your song in rotation for sure. You
Thank
guys are
you.
going to be able to hear
Appreciate
his
it.
song after this interview as well, for
That,
sure.
that's super dope. Yeah, and Uncle Rhino is he's he's definitely one of a kind for sure. Yeah, his name is Uncle Rhino, but he's definitely that uncle. It's so funny.
Exactly.
he,
He's the
he,
uncle you didn't know that you didn't know you
yeah,
needed.
he's that favorite uncle for sure that you would take shots with.
Yes. Right.
For
So,
sure.
so how did you originally get connected with Sylvia?
Um, I got connected with Sylvia, on the through through one of my friends, Teresa. Um, Teresa, she does a lot of like marketing and stuff like that, and works with actors. And she wanted me to, connect with Sylvia in LA because, me and Sylvia in LA. So she wanted me to connect with her so like Sylvia can help me with my acting and getting booked for gigs and stuff like that.
What would you say has been one of your most memorable moments on set?
On set,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I don't know. I think every show is different, but I think like me, I'm the type of person I treat everybody the same. I love everybody. If you love me, you love me. If you hate me, you hate me. But I treat everybody the same. So I think all the behind the scenes actions um with the crew members, the cameraman, like I feel like all all that is like it's just super dope hanging out with the crew and just having a good time and just enjoying life because like no matter how many shows you go on and how many projects you do, everyone is very special. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that just all of those behind the scenes action, actually getting to know the crew and not just thinking, okay, that's just the cameraman, that's just the audio, that's just the audio person, like that's just the producer. Like I'm the star here. That like instead of thinking like that, just like, oh, we're all doing this for the first time, and that's how I try to treat people. Just in my normal life, that it's just everybody's here for the first time.
Yes.
There's no to do, there's no book on how to do this life. So just enjoy it with everybody that you meet.
Absolutely. And that's so important too, right? Because when you think about working on a production, and most people that don't work on production don't understand what it takes to have a
Yeah.
successful production, right?
Hmm.
And I love how you said, that's not just a cameraman, that's not just an engineer. They're like a family to me
Hmm.
because that's what it takes, and that's what separates. Well, quite frankly, bad shows from good shows is the chemistry between the cast and the crew,
Yeah.
because the cast needs the crew in order to make everything go, and the crew needs the cast in order to have something to showcase. So,
Exactly. And I think like don't get me. I'm an open book. I'm gonna say how I feel
mhm.
in the nicest way possible, but I'm real. Like we're on set. We start the set at maybe like 9 o'clock in the morning. We're going to 2 o'clock in the morning. And most producers are like, okay, bet we want this to happen, especially in reality TV. It's like, oh, we want this to happen. Instead of I'm gonna make your I tried to make all of my producers, my cameraman, everybody, the crew, I tried to make their life easier. I was like, okay, so what do you want me to do? What do you want to go in this scene? I'm like, and then they're like, we want you and her to kiss. I'm sorry, but I'm only gonna do things that I want to do, and I feel comfortable doing, and I don't want to kiss this girl. So I'm gonna save us 2 hours for you. I'm gonna save your 2 hours for you thinking that I'm about to kiss this girl. I'm not. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So we're not here till 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wait,
Film.
hold on, wait. Let me get this straight. So you're telling me that they really do orchestrate the situation of you're like, okay, well, the ultimate goal for everything we're about to, all the BS we're about to do, is for you guys to kiss, and you're like, well, that's not happening.
Well, in that is their vision. That is
Right,
their, it's not like, hey, we do this. It's like, okay, this what we would like to see out of this scene.
right,
So they're like, Zay, for instance, they've done this. Zay, we want you to say this. I'm like, I already said I was gonna say this. I was gonna say this anyway. This is how I actually
right.
feel. I'm gonna say it. So it makes it easier, like the things that you want to do. Like say for instance, they're like, oh, like our vision was for you to kiss this girl. I'm like, oh, I wanted to do that anyway. Like I was gonna do that.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, that works. Like, or we want you to like start an argument. I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that. That's just not how I am. Like, whatever happens, it's going to be real and authentic. Like, that's just how I am. And they respected me for it because I wasn't wasting time. I wasn't going to waste nobody's time. I'm just like,
Right.
let you know what it
You're
is.
like, right. You're like, tell me what you want so I can tell you if it's gonna happen or not. And
Exactly.
I love that because a lot of people don't do that. And then they're in the back, and then they're like coming back like, well, the editing team made me do this, the producers made me do this. Like you had an option to say no.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do really hate that. I hate when people are like, oh, this person made me do this. Nobody, I've been on 3 TV shows. Not one person made me do anything I didn't want to do. And
Mm.
that's just, if you want to say no, say no. Like, I don't understand. And people use that as an excuse because they couldn't deal with the aftermath of it. Like, oh,
Right.
this person made me do this. Nobody physically made you do anything.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like they want to say that because they see the backlash that came from what they did.
Exactly, and they can't deal with the heat.
So, who would you say would be your dream collaboration for let's start we'll start with music first and then
Hmm.
we'll go to acting.
Okay. My dream collaboration with music. This this is a tough one because I'm in the country space. A lot of people that I do want to do music with. I'm friends with, like Raina Roberts, Willie Jones. Like, these are people that that I know personally. So I can't, like, that's a dream collaboration just because it's always good doing stuff with people that you love and you care about and you love their music. But people that I don't know is probably like, I don't know, like a Luke Combs, maybe Rod Wave. I would love to see Rod Wave on a country track. That would be super dope. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. It's a lot of Morgan Wallen, of course. I feel like, yeah, these are just people that's in the music space that I would definitely like to collab with.
Awesome. So, when it comes to acting, who is like your dream collaboration when it comes to actors?
Actors, it's difficult because I do reality TV. Something that I would be interested in is probably like Mass Singer. I think that would be
Mm.
super dope to do. Mass Singer, that would be, yeah, I think that would be super dope.
So, why Mass Singer? And what entices you about Mass Singer as opposed to the other singing reality TV shows?
I think the fact that they don't really know who it is, and I've seen Mass Singer and I've watched it and seen people on there, and when they take the mask off, I'm like, oh, I had no idea this person could sing. And I think it was just a surprise of like, oh, I didn't think this person could sing. Like, before I dropped music, if I would have went on the Singer, people 1,000% wouldn't have guessed because I'm not, I wasn't a singer and I didn't put out music. Never really told the world that I could sing.
Gotcha. Definitely. So, when it comes to doing reality TV shows, what is the one piece of advice that you would give to someone who wants to get into the business?
Um, the one piece of advice that wants to, man, to be honest, the most the most successful people that I've seen on reality TV didn't want to do reality TV. Like me, I wasn't the type of person like, oh, I gotta be on TV. It was just something that kind of fell in my lap, and I did well with it.
Mhm.
But my advice would probably be just be yourself
Mhm.
and love who you are. Because going on TV is not for it's not for the weak. You have to be comfortable, and a lot of people don't. Is a lot of people that even that's successful is not. Uh, they're not comfortable with being themselves, so they go on TV and act like a whole total different person because that's what they think people are going to accept. But I think that just being yourself takes you a long way. And your fans are not fake fans. Your fans, your supporters are people that love who you are. And I'd rather, someone hate who I am than love who I'm not. So, um, I think that's my advice. Just be yourself, be real, and just be genuine. Like, it goes a long way.
Most definitely. And I think being genuine is so important because there's so many people that are fake. So if you can be that one person that people can say is a pleasure to work with, is kind to their fans,
Mm-hmm.
whether they're in front of a camera or not. That will make you stand out.
Yeah.
And one thing that I can say because I have met you personally is that you are a beautiful spirit and incredibly talented,
Thank you so much. I appreciate.
and you're very down to earth, which is incredibly important in these times for sure.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I think my all time quote is "Be who you needed when you were younger," and uh, and I think
Ooh, I like that.
yeah, and I think that is something that keeps me going, and that's what helps me want to be more successful because I never had somebody that tell me that you can do this or you can make it to college, you can graduate high school, like you can be a singer, you can be on two number one shows on Netflix, like. Uh, I never had that, and I want to be that inspiration to somebody, to a young girl or a young man out there, that you can do whatever you want in this life. And I think that's why I got into music also, because I'm like, God gives. I'm a true believer that God gives everybody gifts, and what you do with that gift is your gift back to God. And obviously you can never repay God. So while I'm here, I'm gonna do any and everything that I'm gifted at. Anything that I have a little small talent in, I want to do that. Um, because I want to show kids that you don't have to be a rapper. You don't have to be a professional athlete. You don't have to be a singer. you don't you don't have to be anybody. You can be anyone. You don't have to be any of these things that you grow up thinking that this is the way I have to make it out of this situation. You can do anything. Like in some, I mean, growing up, that's all we see. Black, okay, bet you're a rapper. You're a professional athlete. Um, but it's important to to spread that word that you can be anything that you want to be. And I know you can do it because I don't come from a two-parent home. I don't come from knowing that we got groceries every day or any day. Like I come from knowing, like not knowing, like damn, I don't even know if I'm gonna eat today. So
Mm.
I think that's like my mission statement in life is to be that person for other people.
I love that. That is just a beautiful, beautiful way to think. And I think so many young kids need something like that, right? Because I think the problem that we have right now is that there is a misconception that if you're not in entertainment, then you're not going to be able to get out of your situation, right? There is a misconception that, especially if you're African American, that is your value, is to be an
Mhm.
entertainer, is to be an athlete. I'm 6'2", so everybody, everybody that didn't know me thought that I was going to play basketball. That's just not my thing. I grew up as an entertainer. I grew up dancing, singing, acting. Basketball was not the thing. Sorry, but I had
Right.
coaches that got mad at me because I couldn't play. I'm like, I've had bad knees since I was born, so this run up and down this court ain't happening. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you think that I can fit on your team, but it's not gonna occur. Like it's just not. And so um the misconceptions that we put on kids is just
Mhm.
insane because I love the fact that now we're in a time where the youth are actually being heard because back then it was just be seen and not heard situation. So I love
Mhm.
the fact that now we have more youth that are able to speak up and actually have a voice. I think that's the one plus that I would say that social media has done is it's giving younger children and youth a voice as opposed to just have to, if something happens, they're just keeping it inside.
Yeah, 1,000%. And I think that's why it's good to use your voice for your good, use your platform for good.
Yes.
It is like I do love social media, but it does have people doing stuff that's out of character for them that they think that's gonna, or that they know that's gonna get them clicks and is gonna get them comments and get them saying, "Hey, look at this person," but
Mm-hmm.
you're not doing it for good. So I think that I don't know. I think social media is definitely a blessing and a curse for sure.
It is, and like you said, it's about it's about knowing the power that you have when it comes to social media and using it responsibly.
Mm-hmm.
It's about understanding how going viral works. It shares, comments, likes, and saves. If you don't like something, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do any of that. Because that's how crazy stuff goes viral. It's because y'all keep being like, "Ooh, I hate that. Let me show someone." No, keep it to yourself and hoping nobody else sees it. Because
Yeah.
that's where we make people famous that don't deserve to be. And then they crash and burn after that. And this is a whole crazy cycle. What we need to be doing is making people like you consistently have work because of the fact that you have a beautiful heart and you do good work.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So, what TV shows are you a part of so we can watch it and show support?
I'm on the very first season of The Ultimatum, and I'm also on the very first season of Perfect Match. Both of those are on Netflix. I'm also on a show called Celebrity X on the Beach. It is on Paramount Plus and MTV.
So, Celebrity X on the Beach, what was that experience like filming that one?
It was chill. It was way more chill because the person that I was on the show with, it wasn't really a heavy feelings to I guess like we weren't really really dating that long. It wasn't as serious as my first show, so and it was fun. We filmed that in Gran Canaria.
Okay.
Like an island over there in Spain.
Nice.
But yeah,
Ooh, that's
it was
beautiful.
yeah, it was fun. It was a fun experience for sure. And I did the show with a couple of people that I already knew, that I already did shows with. So it was fun. It was cool.
That's awesome. Yes. So, when everything is said and done, what do you want your legacy to be?
Um, think that I would say I want my legacy to show just who I am and what I stood for. Um, how I tried to help people and how I have helped people. Realize that they can do anything in this world.
Absolutely. I love it. So, go ahead and tell everyone where they can find you, follow you, and most importantly, book you.
Um, all of my socials are Zay Wilson. Um, music now streaming on Spotify, Apple Music. It's called Slow Game. Go give it a listen. Follow me on there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Zay. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you as well. And when you have that project done, make sure you come back here so we can make sure that we play the whole project live.
Of course, definitely would do that.
Absolutely. Take care.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye.